Okay, so this is question 46, and this is from the SAT number 15. And let's jump into the questions. The question says, which choice best supports the idea that seeds present in the fields plowed at night are exposed to some amount of light? So this is a sort of like which choice best supports question. I know it's a very creative title. And basically the way that we solve these is we're given a series of answer choices, a series of lines, and we have to go through each one and then basically see which one supports the idea that's mentioned here. Right? And the idea that's mentioned here is that seeds that are even plowed at night, they're exposed to some amount of light. Right? And sort of based on our understanding of the passage and plus based on the word some, it's almost as if the expectation is that, you know, if you're plowing the fields at night, they're not going to be exposed to too much light. But somewhere in the passage, it indicates that they're still exposed to some light. Maybe not a lot, but some light. So we want to look for the answer choice that will tell us that. So let's start. 29 through 33 says, more recently, Karl Hartmann of Erlangen University in Germany reasoned that when farmers plowed their fields during the day, the buried weed seeds are briefly exposed to sunlight as the soil is turned over, and that this stimulates their germination. So we're looking for something about the exposure of seeds to light even when they're plowed during the nighttime. But here we're talking about when farmers plowed their fields during the day, they're exposed to some sunlight. That makes sense, but it doesn't really talk about being plowed at nighttime, so it's not a good answer choice. B says lines 33 through 35, which is right here. It says, although the light exposures from plowing may be less than 1 millisecond, that can be enough to induce seed germination. Again, this is from plowing during the day, specifically during the day, and this doesn't tell us about plowing still at night. So for that reason, this is not a good answer choice. We should eliminate B as well. The next one is lines 40 through 44. This says, although even under these conditions, hundreds of millions of photons strike each square millimeter of ground each second, this illumination is below the threshold needed to stimulate the germination of most seeds. What we need to make sure we always do is what I call check our references. Anytime that we see a pronoun, it, these, this, that, him, her, etc., and it's referencing something outside our text, this is actually really common, and I think the SAT kind of does this to obscure what it is they're talking about, make you go one step further in your reasoning. Whenever you see one of those, you need to check your references. Make sure you understand what's being talked about here. In this case, these conditions is referring to farmers simply plowing their fields during the night. Even under these conditions, hundreds of millions of photons strike each square millimeter, and it's below the threshold needed to stimulate the germination of most seeds. But this does tell us that when fields are being plowed at night, there's still millions of photons that are striking them, which tells us here, right? When fields are plowed at night, they're exposed to some amount of light. So this is a good answer choice, probably our answer. Let's keep it. And the last one is 45 through 49, which is all the way down here. Hartmann says that he was very skeptical when he first came up with this idea because he assumed that such a simple method of weed control as plowing at night must be ineffective or it had been discovered long ago. So here we are talking about plowing at night, but we're not talking about the fact that light is still hitting the seeds, is still affecting the seeds when they're being plowed at night. This is basically the scientist saying, I'm skeptical of this idea because it's so simple that probably other people would have found it by now. But it's not about the fact that that seeds that are plowed at night are still exposed to some amount of light. That's answer choice C, which we should choose as our correct answer. Question 46.